Welcome back to Endotopic, the cutting edge of surgical conversation. I'm here with Dr. David Kulber again, and we are talking about wonderful things in surgery for the hand and upper extremity. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing excellent.
That's
Very
great.
chill.
Pretty chill, yeah? You're still at the office, I
Yeah.
see, so that's good.
I am still at the office,
Still at the
yes.
office, working away. Every hand surgeon
Late night
has,
at the
has an
office,
office.
yes.
That's
Yep.
it's one of the staples in life. Does a hand surgeon have an office? Yes. Is it wood paneling
Yeah.
somewhere? Possibly wood paneling.
Yeah.
Definitely wood desks.
Yeah, why
Or
why wouldn't you have wood paneling?
why
Yeah,
wouldn't you,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's just the way to do it.
You could
Doctor's
have
office, wood paneling. Come on. And like lots of weird pictures and degrees everywhere.
yeah.
Like,
Unless you're in the retro 70s where you're going orange Formica all the way.
ooh, shag carpet? Yes. Orange
You know,
Formica.
I think that's coming back. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, our house we had like just linoleum floors, some shagadelic carpeting, and
Total
then we
shagadelic.
had orange Formica kitchen countertops. And what I would give to get those kitchen countertops back. In fact, if I were to design another office, we're going orange Formica for all the exam rooms.
Super 70s retro. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Then you really need the green Porsche for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The
And you
930.
need
Yeah.
you
That would
need
be so
that,
cool.
and you need Casey in the sunshine bath.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way.
I
I
like
like
it.
it.
You know, it's funny.
Do a little dance,
That you brought
make
it
it
up.
love.
When I was a kid, my parents, we didn't have any money at all, and they had this crappy house, and it had green, like lime green appliances. It was ridiculous. Lime green appliances, orange shag rug, and a rust-colored couch. Ridiculous, but awesome.
Yeah, but now you'd be paying like top dollar
Top
for
dollar.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
For
and put like
crappy furniture.
yeah,
And they
well,
had
put like
they
a
had this
little.
wall with like this wood on it, and it used to give us splinters. It was horrible. Such a terrible place. But anyway, we're here talking about surgical procedures, not shag rugs.
Well,
And
you could be calling like it could be crappy chic furniture.
crappy
There,
chic
there was
furniture.
a company that called Shabby Chic, and they
Yes,
sold
yes,
furniture that looked kind of shabby, but
shabby
it was
chic.
chic. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
remember that. Is this
I
still around?
I think like I don't know. I don't know if that's around, but I'm thinking about like
Shabby
shabby
chic.
chic 70. 70 shabby chic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's time. I mean, I for orange Formica's, it's there's something there.
there is something
There's
there.
something godly about it. Something godly about orange
Something
Formica.
godly about it. Otherworldly.
They call it
Yeah,
atomic.
other word.
They call it atomic. Is that what it is?
The orange stuff,
Yeah,
that's atomic.
I
The
like it.
shabby chic is more like doilies and grandma stuff.
Right. Okay.
I'd go for
Okay.
the atomic. Yeah.
Atomic. I like that. I even
Yeah.
like the name. It's great. It's great. We should call the next device Shabby Chic.
I like that.
Hey, get the Shabby Chic out of the OR room. out, of the,
No,
out, of the,
I think you
out
should.
of inventory.
I think you should. I think you should call it atomic. Like, man, the only way you can fix that is with atomic.
Yeah,
You gotta get some
totally.
atomic
You're
in
like, I'm
there.
gonna fix your
Yeah,
carpal tunnel with the atomic.
yeah. I mean, this is really bad.
Really
We get the atomic.
Get the atomic.
Yeah,
What's gonna save it? Atomic power. That's what's gonna save you.
yeah, yeah. We need
Saving lives
atomic
with
here.
atomic power. That'll
We
go
will.
over real well. That'd be perfect. The patient comes in, doc, I want the atomic. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get this a lot? Do you get I have carpal tunnel. Can you do the laser on me? Do you get that?
Yeah, I used to get it more often. Laser is um, people are asking more for the atomic now than laser.
I like, give me the atomic. I want the
Yeah,
atomic hand. Can I get just the Incredible Hulk hand? Just this
yeah,
one right here. Just this right here.
yeah.
That's all I
That's
want.
the
The
one. Yeah,
atomic hand. Yeah.
yeah.
Just give me the atomic hand.
Right.
Okay, so today's topic is Dupuytrens. Ah, yes,
Ah,
conjecture.
ah,
Doopy all day
yes,
long. You deal with that a lot, don't
yeah.
you? I mean, they must
Oh,
come
yes.
in a
It's
lot.
it's
My
we
national
get
sales
it's
manager
like
has it. He's like this.
it's
All like,
there is it's a human epidemic of Dupuytren's because we're all kind of related, and it's a genetic uh, deal where people from all
Yes.
over the world. It turns out um, that I go every year to, it's always been thought of that mostly Scandinavian and Eastern European
Hmm.
people get Dupuytren's, but it turns out that it's not true. I don't know if it's because the world's so connected, but I was in Ethiopia. I have a nonprofit where we go to Africa, as you know, Ohana One. Give me a little plug for Ohana One here,
Woohoo!
and we teach surgery in Africa.
So cool.
And
So cool.
I was in. Usually I go to Mozambique, but um, I was in both Mozambique and Ethiopia, and I was talking to some doctors there, and they go, "Yeah, we just wrote a paper. We see a lot of people with Dupuytren's disease."
Hmm.
And I'm like, "What?" And yeah, a lot of people in Ethiopia have Dupuytren's, and I don't know if it's because of the cross European Ethiopian, you
Possibly.
know, love making there, or like a match, or if it's just that they have genetically, they have it as well,
Yeah.
but they do have it. So
Interesting.
it's not just a Scandinavian blonde hair disease, and
Yeah,
it's
that's what
a
I was
real
taught.
thing, and
Yeah.
it affects a lot of people.
Hmm. Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, it's is it horribly painful? That's what people always ask me.
It's Yeah, I don't think it's that painful. The nodules sometimes that you get from these, it's growth of like myofibroblasts that just it's unchecked imbalance in wound healing, and so you get
Mm.
proliferation of a lot of myofibroblast material that doesn't break down, and so it deposits like these nodules or cords. It could happen in your hands. It could happen in your feet, called lederhosens,
Really?
and then
Lederhosen?
sadly,
What's the Lederhosen?
lederhosen. I got the lederhosen,
What's the Lederhosen?
and then uh, and then scarily enough, as if you're a male, um, it could happen in your penis, and it's
Ah!
called Peyronie's. Yeah,
I blew out my own eardrums with that one.
uh,
What is it called?
Peyronie's.
Like
And
like
I'm
pierogies?
pretty sure it's
Pieronis?
because Dr. Peyronie, yeah,
Yeah,
like
Dr. Peroni figured
Peyronie
that one out.
pizza. Yeah,
I wonder
take the
how he
P
figured that
out.
one out.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Like, oh my god! I wouldn't mind a few nodules down there.
No, no, you have to, oh yeah, that's
It wouldn't be a bad thing. It might make things
like
more fun.
like ripped, like it'd be
Ripped
ripped,
for her
right? Like
pleasure.
ripped,
Yeah.
yeah, ripped, yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I've got nodules. We're good. Oh my god, terrible.
But it really creates a
Ridiculous.
big curveball. It's you
Yeah.
don't want the curveball part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually not a
Absolutely.
ball. It's a curved stick or anyways, that's
Mm.
Peroni's. So it can Dupuytren's it can affect other parts of your body. This imbalance in wound healing, the myofibroblast,
Yes.
and it's a thing. Um,
Interesting.
Isolated on the genetic code, so we know the genes that transmit it, but it's very complicated. I think because it's a little more popular in Scandinavia,
Mm.
that they've done a lot more research on it, trying to figure out the genetic impact on it and how to treat it genetically. But that's
So
probably
people are
um,
genetically predisposed for that? Is that what happens?
yeah.
Ah.
And then you could actually isolate the gene on your genome, and
Hmm.
maybe one day you could block the genetic expression of the Dupuytren's,
Oh, that'd be
or
cool.
CRISPR the hell out of it.
Could they do that
Just
for
CRISPR
hair
yourself.
loss?
Yeah,
That'd be great. Just block the
yeah,
code for that, and be like, "What?
yeah.
I don't understand why that even happens. Like, it's pointless. It's totally pointless.
It's
Doesn't make
it's
any
a it's
sense."
an un, you know that the cruelty of
Yes,
aging is that you lose your hair, but you gain it in your ears and your nose and
totally.
your eyebrows.
You see,
So I mean, you see like these old people, their hair is coming out of their nose and their eyes, and the eyebrows are like
yeah, but nothing on the
big
head.
huge eyebrows, but they have nothing on their head. I mean, how does that make sense?
I don't
Why does
know.
that?
It's like God's cruel curse.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm tangled
Not
up here.
only are
All right,
Not only are you
I'm
going to
back.
get old, but you're going to look like a freak
Yeah.
if you live long enough.
Oh, my dad, he always
Like
goes,
adding
he
insult
goes,
to injury.
he goes, Ram, don't get old, kid. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's unavoidable. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny. You're right about that. You ever seen that movie City Slickers? When Billy Crystal
Oh,
does that
yeah.
like dissertation on getting old, it's hysterical in the classroom. So funny. Oh my god, it's great. But yeah, so back to Dupy, back to the Dupuytrens. You know, you guys deal with this
Yeah.
a lot. What is your main treatment for? What do you do for it?
Yeah.
You take
There's
you
so
take a
many.
Bible or the Torah and just start smashing people's
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah. That's yeah.
That's a
You know
ganglion. That's a ganglion.
that would be a ganglion. Yeah.
Yes.
But Dupuytren's is it's back in the Bible. Their pictures. It was called Manus Platus, and you could see the finger in biblical figures, like kind of having Dupuytren's.
Interesting.
So it goes way back years. Yeah, biblical,
Yeah.
and
Biblical.
there are a lot of treatments for it. One is to do nothing and live with it, and be a freak. But right.
But you'll have
But
a disease
yeah,
that is of a biblical proportions.
yeah, it's interesting. It was originally described by Guillaume Dupuytren, who was
Is it
a
French?
French surgeon, and actually other people described it before him.
But he wrote it. He wrote it up.
Yeah, but Sir Astley Cooper from Guy's Hospital in England
Alice
had
Cooper?
written about it, and but what happened was Dupuytren was, he came from a very poor family, and he studied pathology in it. And when he was a doctor, it was like a very exciting time in medicine because it was during the Napoleonic era where
Cool.
Napoleon separated church from state.
Yeah.
So before that, you couldn't dissect cadavers like dead people. It was considered sacrilegious. So if someone caught you actually dissecting a cadaver to figure out the anatomy, you'd get stoned to death.
Ooh.
So
no guillotine?
it
No
was
guillotine?
no, they'd just stone you.
They just stone you to death.
Dead cold.
Ooh.
Stone you to death. And so people
For
would
learning.
rob graves to try to learn about what the anatomy is, because there was no one knew where
Is
the
that where the
tendons were.
term
Where the,
skeleton in the closet comes from?
oh, maybe, yeah. There was a Morgagni's errors. Morgagni was a doctor, and he used to rob Italian graves, not for their money or anything, but to study them. So during Napoleon,
Crazy.
it was then legal to do these dissections and figure out what the anatomy was, and just imagine back then when you had surgery, there was no anesthesia because it had been invented yet. There's no aseptic technique, no Lister's technique. So there was no wearing gloves or putting
Mask,
betadine on
anything.
because that wasn't, or whatever. There was nothing, or cobalt or whatever they used back then. Wasn't invented yet. So it made surgery very
What did they do?
efficient
Just drink?
because you just
give them a belt and then be like, okay, I'm going to cut you open.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
and you didn't have cautery or sutures or anything, so you have to be very fast. And people would have surgery, and you knew you might die from a little finger
Infection.
Dupuytren's disease. Yeah.
Sure.
And so you have to be very quick and facile and really know the anatomy well. And so Dupuytren was a very good surgeon because he studied anatomy and very fast, and he did the first the disease of removing. He realized that the cord that you get from Dupuytren's, which is that brings your finger down, was separate from the tendon, and so he actually did the first one on a wine merchant. So he got his wine merchant drunk, and then he got within less than 5 minutes, he had cut the cord out, and he knew enough to make a splint for them, which is kind of amazing. And he took a metal piece of rod and put a splint to keep their fingers straight. And so he's really the first person.
That was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, I mean, and he did surgery on these people with no anesthesia and no, aseptic technique. I mean, crazy. Can you imagine that?
It should definitely be named after that guy. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, come on.
So, both the Warren father and son who founded Mass General Hospital, both came and went to Paris to train with Dupuytren. They just not just
Wow.
because they went there for the food, but
And the
because
wine.
he was such a great surgeon. He was the very great surgeon, but not a nice guy. So he was
Oh, really?
called the first of surgeons and the last of men.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. That's
yeah.
brutal.
Or the people would call him the brigadon of the Seine, because if
Mm.
you go to if you ever go to Paris, and you know where Notre Dame is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Sure. Right in the middle.
That yeah, right in the middle. Right next to it is the Hotel de.
Yes.
Um, and the Hotel of God, Hotel de, is
Yeah.
right next to Notre Dame, and that's where Dupuytren operated, and it was
Wow.
the center of surgery of all of the world at one point when he was there. He did
Wow.
like 10,000 operations in one year,
What?
and because you could do that many because you didn't have any pre-ops. Okay, you didn't have to go for your
No
pre-op
anesthesia, no
evaluation or
pre-op, no
no
post-op. Just
anesthesia.
come on in, have a
No,
belt, and I'm gonna cut you.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
There's no, and there's no prep. I mean,
Oh,
you went in, you did it. You laid down on a table and
roll the
bada bing,
dice.
bada bang, bada
Yeah.
boom, you're done. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I mean,
So,
no wonder people were scared of surgery back then. Oh
yeah,
my God. Wow. That's crazy. And like
you gotta
you're rolling
wonder.
the dice every time because I mean you don't know if he's gonna get infected or not, right? It's
Well,
it's
yeah,
it's, it's random. Like it could happen, because it's open wound. Like it's crazy. Wow.
yeah, but you didn't even know that was a thing. You
No.
thought it was just bad, bad spirits.
Yeah.
And
You
but
cut him and his spirit came out.
yeah, and bad spirits might go in or they might not. So
Oh boy.
um,
Get some leeches. Get some
really,
leeches.
yeah, it was a very weird time where you're
Uh,
just transitioning to more science. Like Pasteur and Louis
Louis
Pasteur
Pasteur.
and um, and bacteria and
Mm-hmm.
Lister's technique and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff was just coming right after Dupuytren. So it took can you imagine just the um, gall or the um,
The guile.
confidence that you're
Yeah.
going to operate on somebody and they're going to be screaming in pain. They're going to not have any anesthesia. You're just cutting them. You have very little instruments, and the ones that you have are ones that you invented,
High
and you're
probability
just
of
going to do it.
death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dupuytren would, it's said that he would take you and he'd look you in the eye, and in French, which I don't want to mispronounce it, even though my wife is French, she'd kill me if but basically would say, I will cure you. And he'd grab them by the cheek, I will cure you. And that's what he did.
I
So,
will cure you
you know,
or kill you. One
I,
or the other. I
I
mean,
think
how many
Dupuytren's,
died out of those
yeah,
10,000?
I will
Huh?
cure you.
Right?
Yeah,
I
who
mean,
knows,
think about
right?
it. Like that's Napoleonic era. I mean, that's a time when, geez, they were still using ridiculous warfare, cannons and horseback and all that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
yeah,
That was like in a time where like there was one surgeon like where they would do a lot of amputations, right? And
yeah,
in
yeah,
one
sure. Especially during war.
surgery, yeah, there was a 200% mortality. So how could you have a 200% mortality
How
in
does that
one
even
surgeon?
work?
Yeah, how's
Like
that
two
work,
people,
right?
one
So a
person died
guy
twice.
is no, it's yeah. So it's a sad story, but a true
Aw.
one.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
a
Sad but
a
true.
surgeon, very true. A surgeon was doing an amputation,
Uh-huh.
and they did them very. They did like these guillotine amputations of extremities, and the assistant was holding the leg, and he was, supposed to be the. I think he was. He did like 100 amputations in like 30 minutes or something,
Wow.
and the fastest But the guy that was holding the leg, he went through the leg and went through his fingers and cut off not only the leg but 3 of his assistant's fingers.
Oh
Okay,
my
into his
God.
palm. And the person whose leg got cut off, he died of sepsis, and the person whose fingers got cut off, he died of sepsis. So in one surgery, 2 people died. 200%
Moral
mortality.
of the story is surgery's a lot safer today. So if you're in fear of surgery,
Yeah.
don't, because it is super safe. I'll tell you something. We're gonna have to wrap it up soon. I'll tell you something. I go around to hundreds of hospitals all over the country, and it's the same everywhere as far as aseptic technique goes, as far as keeping the OR clean, the protocols that are followed, the timeouts, everything. And there's no like regulation on that, but everyone does it. Everyone does it, and it's always the same. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it went through that book by Atul Gawande about having your checklist and being more like an airplane, where everyone knows their job. And when it works great because everyone just does their job. They know what their job is.
Yes.
And
mistakes aren't
it's
made.
very prescribed. Yeah. And so just like being on an airplane, the same flight crew, they don't always work together, but they know their checklist and their job. Yep. And if everyone does their job, then you're in good shape. And like so that's the same thing in the operating room.
Doors, cross-check. When you're landing.
Cross-check.
Yeah, cross-check.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Kulber, we're going to have to wrap it up. Oh, you got one more story? One more story. Let me hear it.
No, I just wanted to say that I always tell my patients as we're wheeling them in the OR, keep your hands and feet in the vehicle at all times.
That's perfect. And on that note, we're going to end our podcast. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Kulber, for your time and your knowledge and your wisdom and your great stories. It's so funny. And I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, click through, all that stuff. And Endotopic will be back next week. Take care.
Au revoir. Vive le Dupuytren.
Au revoir, Dupuytren.